All right, let's talk about something that might just flip your whole idea of success and learning on its head. It's called the empty cup strategy, and trust me, it's a real game changer. Have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels? You're doing all the right things, reading the books, taking the courses, putting in the hours, but you're just not getting anywhere. You feel stuck. It is so frustrating, and believe me, you are not alone in feeling that way. And here's the twist, the big secret. Maybe the problem isn't that you need to learn more. Maybe the real breakthrough comes when you start unlearning, when you let go of what you think you already know. So, the big question is, how on earth do we do that? Well, the best way to understand this is through a really old story, a Zen parable about a scholar and a Zen master. It's simple, but wow, does it pack a punch. So, let's set the scene. On one side, you've got this scholar. The guy's brilliant, no doubt. He's read everything, he's debated everyone, and his ego is, well, it's huge. He's absolutely convinced he knows it all. Then, on the other side, you have the Zen Master. He's famous for his wisdom, but he lives this quiet, simple life up on a mountain. The scholar hears about this supposedly wise man and thinks, I'm gonna go show him who the real genius is. And you can just picture it, right? The second he gets there, he doesn't even say a proper hello. He just launches into it, showing off, listing every single book he's ever read, every complicated idea he's mastered. He's just talking at the master, not to him. It's all about proving how smart he is. But the Zen master? He just sits there, listening, completely calm. He lets the scholar talk and talk until he finally runs out of steam. And instead of arguing or trying to prove his own wisdom, he just smiles and says this. And this is where it gets really interesting. This simple offer of tea, it's about to become the entire lesson. So the master gets the teapot and 2 cups. He sets one down in front of the scholar and starts to pour. Just a nice, quiet, normal moment. Or so it seems. The tea fills the cup all the way to the top. It reaches the brim. And then the master just keeps on pouring. His hand is perfectly steady. He doesn't even blink. And of course, the tea starts spilling everywhere. It's running over the sides of the cup, making a huge puddle on the table and splashing all over the scholar's fancy clothes. The whole calm scene is suddenly a complete mess. The scholar totally freaks out. He jumps up, shouting at the master. I mean, from his point of view, this is just ridiculous. What is this old man doing? The cup is obviously totally full. The master finally stops pouring. He looks the scholar right in the eye. And this is the moment. This is where the whole idea of the empty cup strategy comes from. And boom, there it is. The whole point. The whole point. The master wasn't talking about a teacup. He was talking about the scholar's mind. A mind so jam-packed with his own ideas, his own ego, his own I-know-best attitude that there was literally no room for anything new. Any wisdom the master tried to share would just be like that tea, spilling right out, completely wasted. So what is this strategy really? It's actively deciding to shut down that little voice in your head that's always screaming, oh, I already know this. It's about choosing to be humble enough to actually listen, to actually be open to a new way of seeing things. So how do we actually do this? Well, it's pretty simple, really. 3 steps. First, you have to unlearn. Challenge your own assumptions. Let go of that old business strategy that just isn't working anymore. Second, you have to truly listen. Listen to understand what the other person is saying, not just waiting for your turn to talk. This is huge in any conversation. And third, just be humble. Accept that you don't have all the answers. Nobody does. There is always, always more to learn. So this all leads back to us, right? How do we take this cool story and actually use it in our day-to-day lives? How do we make sure our own cups aren't already full? Your mind really is just like that teacup. If it's overflowing with old beliefs, past wins, and a big ego, nothing new can get in. It's just not possible. Real growth, the kind that changes you, it only starts when you're brave enough to pour some of that old stuff out. You have to be willing to be empty again. It's about learning with the curiosity of a little kid, someone who isn't afraid to say, I don't get it, or ask why 100 times. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you're in a meeting, or you're getting some advice you didn't ask for, or you're trying to learn a new skill, just pause for 1 second and ask yourself this really simple but incredibly powerful question. Because if your cup isn't empty, you might be letting the best ideas of your life just spill onto the floor.